All right. Hey YouTube, I'm Lucky, and in today's video, we're gonna be talking about our Vault of Glass world's first predictions, okay? If you don't know, if you're new to Destiny, or if you've just been living under a rock, whenever a team finishes one of the new raids, or in this case, a reprised raid, first, they actually receive a belt, the belt that's mentioned above here. This belt will be awarded to the first 6 Guardians, the first fire team to complete the Vault of Glass for the second time now. Now, obviously, it was completed back in 2014 for the first time, and this time the prerequisites are a little bit different and honestly kind of weird. A lot of people have been saying things like, why is there a belt being awarded for a raid that's already been inside Destiny? And they have a fair point. Let me know in the comment section below. Do you agree? Do you think there should be a world's first raid belt when there's already been a world's first? The team Prime Guard got world's first in 2014 when Vault of Glass originally came out, and now it's coming back into the game 7 years later, and now another team will hold the world's first Vault of Glass return belt. But it gets even weirder than that if you think about it, all right? Because the team that beats the Vault of Glass world's first this time will not be awarded the belt. The team will have to beat the Vault of Glass and then redo it over again, doing the challenge mode and the Tempo's Edge triumph that Bungie has created. And only by doing that, and those only unlock after you've beaten the Vault of Glass one time, only by doing that will you be awarded the belts. And so it's going to be really odd when there's a team that actually got the true like world's first completion, even though we've already gone through this raid before. But then I believe after that, we'll have essentially a new race created where people are chasing after the challenge mode and the Tempo's Edge triumph. The team that actually beats that first will be awarded the belt. Now, before I continue any further, feel free to pause this video and comment down below who you think will get world's first this time. Now, obviously, first up on the discussion board, we got to talk about the popular content creators. We got to talk about Dado. Dado has been trying year after year after year for so many years now to get a world's first, and he has fallen short. He's gotten second place several times now. He has tasted the sting of second place defeat so many times. I think that everyone in the community kind of wants Dado to get it, at least just a little bit. Even if you're trying to go for it, you're like, if you lost to Dado, you'd be like, you know what, at least I lost to Dado, you know? And how poetic of a story would it be if the very first raid race that Dado lost in 2014, in which he got second place in 2014, if 7 years later, he was able to bring it back full circle and actually win world's first 7 years later in that very same raid that he first lost. The first raid that sent him down the path of endless second place or lower finishes, raid after raid after raid, year after year after year. That would be kind of a beautiful story, wouldn't it? But I don't think that will happen, and I'll give you my prediction in just a minute. Before I do so, I'm going to talk about another popular clan, Clan Redeemed. These guys are absolute beasts at PvE. I mean, we're talking about some of the most knowledgeable, some of the most experienced people in the game, the team that has the absolute most raid belts of any team in the history of Destiny. Do you think that they will stand a chance at getting world's first in this Vault of Glass race? I know a lot of people will be commenting that down below. They'll be saying, you know, yes, I think that Glad might get it. Yes, I think that Dado might get it, or another Redeem team. And I know Glad hasn't even been playing Destiny very much lately, so I'm not even sure if he's entirely going into the raid race. Let me know if you actually know if he's going for it. I feel like he probably will, but I don't know. I'm not 100% certain about it. But now that we've gotten the 2 most popular votes taken out of the way, it's time to give you my predictions and my insight. And what I'm going to say is I don't think that Glad or any Redeem team or Dado are going to finish world's first Vault of Glass. That's my prediction, and I'm not trying to be a hater. I'm telling you right here, I'm not trying to be a hater. I just simply think that these world's first races are so much more competitive now than they ever were in the past. And because of that extremely high level of competitiveness, only the most talented, knowledgeable, and cracked out gamers are going to get world's first, and that is the speedrunners of Destiny 2. Speedrunning in Destiny 2 is definitely a thing. Sometimes it's more popular than other times. I don't know. I personally like when people like run through a strike in like 4 minutes. I think that's kind of cool. But for whatever reason, the speedrunners of Destiny 2 don't seem to be as nearly as popular as just the content creators. And so a lot of people place their bets on the content creators, but I'm telling you right now, speedrunners are getting world's first in Vault of Glass. I've been putting my money on speedrunners for several years now. They have not let me down. These speedrunners are cracked out kids, and they get these raids done super fast every time. Now, before I dive any deeper into my Vault of Glass world's first predictions, let's go over the history and over the data. We have the Deep Stone Crypt world's first list, okay? Here at the top, we have Clautivity and Aoterra's team. Now, apparently this team is not going for world's first this time, so I'm not entirely sure if they've been split up into different teams. I've been told that they're going to be splitting up, so we'll see. But obviously, if a team got world's first in the last raid, that is definitely a team, that is a contender team to get world's first in the next raid. I mean, you have to be badass to get world's first, especially with over 1,000 people finishing it. I mean, these guys finished it in 5 hours, 29 minutes. That's super badass. Any other names you see up here in the top 10 are definitely very impressive. Slayerage is a name to look out for. I mean, this guy is a true OG. This guy was like one of the first to ever solo Crota back in the day, back in the OG days of Destiny, and he never counted Slayerage out of getting a world's first. He will definitely be a contender for that world's first slot. I would be surprised if Slayerage didn't at least finish in like the top 10 spot. That would be very surprising to me. On to the next team, we have Scrub here, a bit of a controversial character, but they actually have the world record, I believe, at this time, which is the fastest Vault of Glass speedrun in Destiny 1. So keep your eyes out for this team right here. This team right here is the one that I would be playing. If I was a betting man, I'd be putting money on this team, okay? I'd be like, this is the team, okay? They have the current Vault of Glass speedrun world record, okay? They know everything about Vault of Glass. The mechanics, the timing, everything that goes into it. I would bet that they would be the world's first team to beat the Vault of Glass. Now, whether or not they're the first to beat the challenge mode and the Tempo's Edge Triumph, now that's an entirely another thing. But because they will be the first team to beat Vault of Glass, almost certainly they will have an advantage in getting to plow through the challenge mode and the Tempo's Edge Triumph first to try and get that belt. Scrolling down through this list, and I'm not overlooking anyone. Again, like I said, anyone in the top 10 is definitely a contender, but we have X Black's team here. Now, this was the team that got world's first in the Garden of Salvation raid right here at the very top. You can see that. An extremely impressive feat to get world's first in the Garden of Salvation, and then in the very next raid to finish in the top 10, especially with how competitive things have become. I know not a lot of people give credit to, oh, you know, I finished in the top 10, you know, everyone just cares about the belt, right? If you finish first, you get the belt. No one seems to care as much about finishing in the top 10, but with the raids being as competitive as they are now, finishing in the top 10 should absolutely be impressive, and you should get a sort of prize in and of that itself. Like, you should get a prize for finishing in the top 10 because that is really impressive, and we shouldn't just place all of the value on world's first. Okay, next up you can see Dado. He actually got 12th in the last raid, so definitely not a bad show. Next up we can see that we've got Plutonium's team here, and if you go to the Garden of Salvation, they actually finished world's second, so just barely falling out of the world's first place. If you look at the time, they were actually behind by 2 minutes. I mean, they were 2 minutes away from a world's first during the Garden of Salvation, and then during the Deep Stone Crypt, they finished in 14th place. Now, that is still extremely impressive, in my opinion. I would definitely be looking out for that team. Next up, we have the Tier 1 team. We've got Giggs and Riot, Game Stager, all those guys. These guys are beasts. They're super OG veterans, been doing this for a very long time. Never count these guys out completely. They got the Scourge of the Past world's first, and that was almost like a speed run in its first completion in and of itself. I mean, they literally ran through that raid world's first like it was nothing. And with all of that being said, those are my predictions. Those are my teams to look out for. Obviously, my team will be in there as well. And of course, you know, we're going to get world's first. We're going to lap all the teams, probably beat it 3 times on my Titan, my Hunter, and my Warlock. And then after that, I'll probably solo the raid before Esoteric on all 3 characters using nothing but a blue sidearm because that's just the way I roll. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Who do you think will get world's first? Has your vote and has your opinion changed from your original comment that you posted down below? It's important to note that this will probably be the most competitive raid race we've ever had before, because literally right now, everyone is properly leveled for the raid. There's no one that would actually be competing for this raid that's going to be well under 1300. So literally every person will have the opportunity and the ability to beat this raid. I'll predict now that there will probably be over 1,000 teams that beat this within the first 24 hours. And if there isn't, it would only be due to it's just not nearly as popular, as interesting to people. Because of course, it's not a new raid. It's new for a lot of players out there. And let me know in the comment section below, were you a D1 player? Did you ever play Vault of Glass? Or is this raid going to actually be a completely new and unique experience to you? Make sure to subscribe with notifications on if you want to stay up to date on all things Destiny 2. Smash that like button like a solar grenade on Atheon's feet, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Later.